So the universe was telling me that I could either have a right half shaft or a turbo oil drain, but not both. So I grabbed the Passat oil drain in it, and then I grabbed the axle and checked the clearances, and I can use. So it turns out what you need to mount the longitudinal four-cylinder and the transversely is you need the earlier oil pan for the transverse engines, then you need the longitudinal turbo oil drain. So I'll mark this up on the oil pan where it goes, and then I'll machine 2 oil pans just so I have an extra to work with that. And then I can do something with my life.
So in order to mount the oil drain on the oil pan, it's necessary to weld captive nuts on the inside of the oil pan so that the bolts or the pipe themselves have something to thread into. And you'll notice here as I'm welding, these captive nuts are actually getting quite hot. And what ended up happening is these nuts deformed. So what I do in order to weld captive nuts like this is I screw something in through the nut and then through the other surface to pull the nut tightly against the surface I'm welding to get a good connection and ensure that the nut is flat, correct? But the bolt that I was using was very small, so there was not a lot of heat dissipation for the nut itself. So what you're seeing now is that I'm going to have to cut that nut off and do it again with a larger bolt holding that nut in. I had an extra pan for practicing on, but both pans turned out well enough that I'll end up having an extra in case that one is damaged in an event. I was also able to machine the baffle for under the crank so that it fits around the oil pan, and you can see that turned out quite well.
So the new modified oil pan is now installed using the Passat factory hex bolts. And fun fact, the steel oil pan will use more of these, so you'll have to order them. I guess since it's steel and it's thinner, it's more liable to deform compared to the thick aluminum one. So that's why they're using more bolts. So we can see our oil drain is now connected. So it's running down from the turbo and down to here. And there's enough clearance for the axle. And it's all using all factory Volkswagen parts, which can be replaced very easily in the event the vehicle is damaged.